We're on the same
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
about the past and about the future.
What's up, everybody? We are here at Draftvice, back again. And I'm here with my cousin Ricky. You remember him? And on the other side of the table, we got Stephen Pumilia.
What's going on?
Remember him from the Running Backs episode? Yep, sexy man.
Yep, these things.
Yeah. And today we are doing an NFL Mascot Draft, everybody. You
so
excited?
I guess like real life mascots, like if the lions were actually lions.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
This was his idea,
It's
by
a
the
great
way.
idea.
This was his pitch.
It's a really great idea.
All right. So we didn't figure out who was going ahead and picking first.
You never do ever. So.
No.
You would think you'd get a plan.
Yeah, maybe once.
Especially after the debacle of the cereal draft.
All right, who pooped last?
How do we supposed to know that? Who's verifying? Who's fact checking that?
Let's see. When did I poop? Didn't poop today.
There's got to be a better way to do this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Oh, that solves everything. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
How about you go first?
No, it's okay. I don't want a first pick.
Or rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Well, you clearly thought about this.
Yeah, so I'm at
Fine.
advantage.
Wait, is it? Stop.
Then he has to do
Rock, paper, scissors says shoot?
No, it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, fine, but there's some knuckleheads out there that
Nobody
say says.
Yeah, but why would
Nobody
you?
says. Go out there in the street.
I know
And-
people do that, but like.
Okay, then you act like it's a new thing. All right, ready. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Says shoot. Oh.
All right, so now it's you versus me.
Okay.
Rock, paper,
Says.
scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, he changed it last minute, but he wanted. Let's go.
We have it on
Rock,
video.
paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
This is
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
You got me.
one of these is going to hit me.
So it's
Okay.
me, and it's the two of you guys.
Yeah, this is for second or third.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, I'll go.
Fuck
last.
out here.
All right, so literally
Sorry,
how
Mom.
I wrote it.
Oh, all right, cool. And with the first pick,
Waste of time.
He's gonna steal my fucking pick. I know he's gonna steal my fucking pick. I told him. I shouldn't have never told him.
the Jets. I'm going to go with the Titans,
Titans.
because they are gods.
They're pretty big.
Literally gods.
I'll counter them. I'll counter them in round 2. Well, okay, go. Or
Well, I was. You guys knew this theme. I just found out, so I didn't have time to plan.
do you want to?
Didn't do my research.
If you want to look at.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
for people who own Sharpays.
What the?
we're going rogue. Yeah. So there's a lot of animals. We got some people. Do we know what a charger is?
You can
The
twist
car?
it up. You can twist it up.
Well, I don't think it's a car. I'm looking at it like lightning, and that seems like pretty godly itself. And
Ooh,
I'm gonna go with the chargers because like
Chargers.
lightning storms.
It's true. How do you kill a
Electricity.
charger?
Yeah, how do you kill something? You just don't even know what it is.
Put a
And I'm
fork-
going to keep that in the dark. I'm not going to tell you guys what I think it is because it's part of the mystery. It's part of the mystique that's going to help me win this.
All right, so my obvious first round pick is Jets, like a fighter jet. What possibly can beat a fighter?
This is what he chose. Is a jet.
That's right.
But you don't have pilots.
No, I have pilots. They're fighter jets. Like
Frequent flyer miles. People got to go. People,
yeah.
You got to get to
Exactly.
the battle. You know what
and
I mean?
like
And-
I get it. Like you can strike me with your lightning, like, but I just right through.
yeah, you can't fly when I'm around.
No, I can.
They delay
It's
you.
just, like,
You're just going to sit on the
turbulence,
tarmac.
and it's a fighter, like a fighter jet. Like I'm, like, phew, like you can't like almost as fast.
The speed of light is.
Yep.
Well, you know what I'm going with? I'm going with the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Yes, because they'll just fly into your fighter jet's engine and make
Yeah,
it
you got
fall.
a big
Ooh.
weakness there. You didn't think about that.
They don't fly as high.
Dude, if there was
They
a
don't
team
fly.
called the Geese,
Eagles
you
do
would've
not
been screwed.
fly. Eagles do not fly at the height that a fighter jet can fly. So
Doesn't
I
matter,
just
once
fly
they dip
higher
in.
than you fly.
I still have immortal Titan.
Into the lightning.
No, that's like some R&B song. Fly higher, I will fly higher.
Than an
I think
eagle.
that's Seal.
Fly higher than an eagle. Or Josh Groban, I think, somewhere.
Is it my turn yet?
I'm pretty sure that's that song they sing at everybody's funeral. The Wind Beneath My Wings.
Oh, God. No,
Ricky, what's your pick now?
I mean, the Saints are. Fuck. How do you not pick the Saints? You're like, oh, the Titans are gods.
Exactly.
Yeah, in Greek mythology.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
Who pays attention to Greek mythology except weird professors? That's what they want to do with their life.
So you're picking Saints? They don't have
Picking the
superpowers. They just do nice things to people.
they can make other people saints, and they make
They
peace.
get canonized.
Yeah, they get canonized. There's somebody else just got canonized the other day.
That's crazy.
All right, Steve, what's your pick?
Took my pick, but I'm always prepared. So I'm gonna go.
He's the only one who has a list out in front of him, by the way.
No, it's for everyone's reference.
It's been the same teams for a while now.
I'm going for the Browns.
And your reasoning?
It's like 1.7 billion people with the last name Brown, so that's a pretty big army.
Okay.
And
Like,
if
he's
you
got us
think
there.
I don't have any pilots.
He's got us there.
That's right.
Well, now he's got all pilots named Brown.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say there's something wrong with that?
Brown.
Are you saying there's something wrong with brown pilots?
You said it, not me.
Oh. Yeah.
Well,
This podcast is going to look contentious.
I'm going to go with the Giants because they're giants. So they can do giant things. They're bigger than people. They're bigger than normal people.
Wojo's got half the NFC East, by the way.
That's true. Total accident. Wait till you see my next round.
Well, we have to feed our troops, right? So we got to go with the Packers. We need a food supply. And you guys are just going to start. There's no other food supply on the board. I want you to know that.
Oh, there is. There is. Any of these.
He's gonna eat the
animals-
bears.
Yeah, you can eat any.
That's
of
true.
These
You can eat
animals.
any of them. Even the blue
Well, I got
collar.
eagles. They lay eggs.
Creme de la Cardinal.
Wait, Cardinals. Okay.
Do you want to fly or touch boys? Anyway,
Steve, what are your?
Well, are the Cardinals like the big tree too? I don't know. There's all like
no, that's like
Stanford. They just make up their own mascot.
They're like the Cardinal. They're Cardinal red. It's like Alabama. It's like the
With the
crimson.
red. Now we're going down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah,
but then
but-
there's like Cardinals like Saints. They're like Cardinals like the Pope.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the boys. But
This
anyway,
is a real Christian slant here.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna alienate a lot of the population.
Yeah, well, are there any Muslim teams?
No.
Speaking, well, Browns. Anyway, but
I shouldn't laugh.
I'm gonna go.
He came up with this idea.
Good.
He loses track
No,
in the
it's
third
fine.
round.
No, it's fine. I don't know if I can pull it off, but I just saw The Lion King, and like lions are pretty fucking badass. And like, okay, I get it. Things kill lions sometimes, but they are the king of the jungle. So I'm gonna go with the lions.
But they don't live in the jungle.
Huh?
That's a myth, actually.
See, Steve, you should have watched the Jungle Book instead, because I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Damn,
They got rhythm too.
bears.
The Bears.
At least he did.
You got rid of the Bears?
Rhythm.
The Bears got rhythm.
Yeah, Baloo.
But Lou,
You didn't even watch the movie.
I didn't get the reference.
Yeah, you should watch this movie. I've never seen in my life.
I know who Baloo is. I didn't know what you meant by rhythm. I guess the Bare Necessities, the song.
That's what I'm. It's yes. Whatever. I guess we're not all meant to do this.
Drafting animals in mascots.
Listen,
It's a strange.
that's a fair point. Well, the Vikings are pretty angry. Why do I not see them there? Did they forget? Oh, okay.
Right there.
Well, I'm also going to pick the Vikings because it's a matter of time before somebody's starting a petition to change that name. They weren't good people.
We in Sweden don't like your NFL. Get rid of Viking. It was like the German-Russian, I guess.
Yeah,
Not Swedish.
Bill Burr,
I was
German
just
Russian.
curious to see if there's any like throwback teams that are really good. But
Is this
there
the
isn't.
CFL?
No, that was just like teams that don't exist anymore.
Really? They had other teams?
Well, like for instance, like
The Oilers.
Oh,
Oh,
you're looking at old teams now?
no,
That we can't.
No, I was
call
just
old.
seeing if that was like even like a thing. But I think I know what I'm gonna go for my next pick, and I'm just tossed up. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans just because people from Texas are just fucking crazy lunatics. So
All right,
Going
so
with
he's
the
going with the
Texans.
Texans. He's got cow wranglers. So he's basically getting. And I'm gonna go with the Patriots, man. Dude, American Army, yo.
You really care. You're yeah, okay.
That's a smart move.
USA.
USA, I guess. They're the people. Come on, guns.
I'm going to go foreign. And I'm taking the Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah, dude, they're not here. They're in India or something.
That is a way to
Like
go about it.
Bangladesh,
So I think that I get everything that comes with the Bengals.
like you're Bengali. You're just
The Bengal Tigers. No, I'm not trying to be creative with it. I legitimately want tigers.
so
They're bigger than lions.
sometimes.
No, they are.
Okay.
And Steve, it is your turn
Final
for the
pick,
last
man.
pick in The mascot draft.
Yeah, I don't know how I can. You know what? You know what's got a bigger population than like the last name Brown?
The last name Smith?
No, it's definitely anybody by the name that goes by Bill. So I'm just gonna take the Bills, and now I got like
Bill Brown.
I got like dope ass people too. I got like Clinton, like by far like one of the best hands-on presidents, and like Bill Cosby, another hands-on guy, and like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Not as handsy, but
Less handsy, but can definitely make a formula if you want to do any of that stuff. But
that'd be a weird pairing, him and Bill Cosby.
Okay.
Teaming up.
Okay.
All right, so we have to do a little analysis. Do your analysis.
Wait, it's over?
Yeah, that's 5 rounds.
Dude, that was like the quickest
That was
of all the drafts that
we're
I've
gonna
ever
do 4
done.
episodes.
Yeah.
But no, do a little analysis because I want to come up with a stat for my team to.
Well, I got Titans, Giants, and we got all the Patriots to like kind of arm them up and be like, here's all our guns. You can have our AR-15s.
I got a bunch of Vikings riding Bengals throwing bolts at people, eating cheese and praying a lot.
And then all my Eagles will just go ahead and go right into your Jets.
All right, your Eagles are almost the worst pick. Almost. I understand they take down Jets. I get it.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
But
You're very patriotic. You got the Patriots and the Eagles.
Patriots and Eagles, yeah. Well, that's when like the Super Bowl was. Didn't they call it like the USA Bowl?
I don't know, dude. I don't have time for that.
Okay, hold on.
That was seriously the quickest draft I think we've done on this show.
Well, yeah, because it didn't take us forever to be like, outside of Cocoa Puffs, what is there? I haven't watched Nickelodeon in a long time to see a cereal commercial.
So,
What?
Browns is 1.7.
He's actually looking up statistics to
Billion.
prove his point.
But he's only looking up his own team.
Hold on. No, yeah, I got
How
it.
big is a giant?
We also didn't specify how many of anything there are. I might have 40 billion Bengals.
I also have
Listen, that's an
immortal
endangered species, and you know it.
How many? Wow, it might take one. How many bills do you think a Bengal can kill? How useful are these bills?
I get it.
Are they your attorney? Like, what are they? No offense. Are they like? What are they? Are they?
What if they're dollar bills?
That's useless too.
It's
You
useless,
just
dude.
throw money at them?
Money.
Dollar bills.
What's money gonna do
Huh, how many
in a
bills
time of war?
exist? How many men named Bill?
I mean, how many?
No, you're cutting the population. There's
I'm
gotta be some
confused.
females.
None of you guys picked anybody. Like nobody picked the Cowboys, like guys with guns.
Well, no, those are Texans, also.
Tomato.
That's why I was gonna pick Cowboys, but Texans like have better guns. Like Cowboys have the old time guns. Now Texans
that's
have the
true.
newer guns. Like,
And the Cowboys get a bad rap.
yeah. Nobody picked the Redskins. Like,
Well, we wanted to stay out of that firestorm.
All right, so I think we should probably move on to some news.
no. I gotta look it up. How many men named Bill exist?
He's really looking this up
I am.
because statistically, it doesn't matter.
It's also not. I don't have time for this.
The Titans will just
Whatever.
But the Titans will just kill people.
now on to the news.
Nobody knows what a charger is.
Right? Yeah. What? That was a weird pick. How is my? How
I
are
just
the
got a
Eagles
bunch
the
of
worst?
iPhone chargers. We'll be able to Instagram us kicking your ass because our phones won't die.
All right. So first, right off the bat, Taylor Lewan was suspended. Tyler Boyd got an extension. Mike Daniels was cut from Green Bay, and then
That was surprising.
That was surprising. And then he signed with the Lions for $9 million. Like he got a good deal
Because he's
getting
still
paid
got
more to play for the
game.
Lions.
Because he's got game.
He's
Why-
good.
I understand they get to this veteran stage and they're kind of banking on the fact that maybe they're going to go down a hill to save some money, to get some. I mean, I don't know, but I thought Mike Daniels was kind of like the lifeblood of that defense.
He was. He's a great player. And I was a little shocked when I found out. And I think they were trying to shop him. And I guess the people who would have paid him more than what he was getting already, they weren't going to shop him to.
You know what I noticed? The more airtime you get presenting other people on the NFL's Top 100 on NFL Network, the more likely you are to get cut. Happened to Ike Taylor. As soon as they invested in him, they were like, bye. And then I found out by watching it, and he's talking, and I'm like, oh, Mike Daniels is always on here. And then right at the bottom of the screen, it says, Mike Daniels cut by the Packers.
I stopped watching the NFL Top 100 after they showed Kirk Cousins. He went from he was in the 90s last year. They moved him up into the 70s for this year. I'm like, okay, not watching this anymore. Like that, like
Credibility.
he was just really bad last year, and they still moved him up. Like,
Well, the Jets are still a team, and they were always bad, so I don't know how to
yeah, but they're not in the NFL top 100. Like,
None of them.
So back to
Some of
Mike
them.
Daniels and him getting cut and now being on the Lions.
Speaking
I
of
do
Lions,
think I do think there's a reason why that the Packers were willing to let him go, and it's that because they got Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, and then they also drafted Rashawn Gary. So they've invested a lot in that defense, in that defensive line, and I guess they were looking to let an older, aging veteran go, especially one who's costing them $8 million, a guy who didn't play every game last year. But I think he was very productive when he has played. He had a bad year last year, but I think he still has that ability.
It's also understated his ability to lead. He could take a guy like Gary under his wing. We know that Gary is a phenomenal talent, but hasn't always lived up to that talent. And having somebody like Mike Daniels there could really be a benefit for them going forward. I mean, in order for someone, you want to give someone like Gary the best chance to succeed, what better than to walk into the building and have somebody like Mike Daniels show him how to be a pro?
I don't disagree. And I think there was a lot of teams that were interested. I'm shocked he got signed so quickly. I'm shocked he was, and I think part of it is because you want to get to camp. That was actually my biggest issue with him getting cut, is that they waited to this point, to like the day everybody's reporting for camp, and then they're like, yeah, we're going to cut you now.
yeah, that's a really awkward time. Like,
It's a dick
move.
move.
I thought like the McCagnon firing was like a horrible like timing situation, but we've seen it before. I don't think we've ever seen it timing like that.
I mean, it's a real dick move. I've seen it before because, like, sometimes they'll wait till after June 1st because they have the June 1st cuts, and if you have some guys you want to spread them over the course of the cap, you cut them after June 1st. I don't think that's why they did it. I think they were waiting to see if they could get a good offer, they could trade him for something, and they never got the offer in to do it.
They definitely saved money though by doing it before a certain time though, right? Is that, or am I wrong?
They're able to, well, by doing it after June 1st, you could spread it over the next cap year. If you had any dead cap hit, which he might not have.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on that?
No.
All right.
And he was the Packers.
Yeah, he was on the Packers. Now he's on the Lions, and he basically signed with the Lions a day later.
Yeah, absolutely.
How quickly he signed was what blew my mind.
And that's why it took me a little time. That's why while you're talking about the Lions, my team, okay, it's got
He's been doing this
1.9 billion people population between the population of Texas, everyone named Bill, and people with the last
Listen,
name
the
Browns.
Vikings conquered everything back in the day. Everyone's got a little DNA
Back
of the
in the
Vikings.
day,
in them.
and then
so if you
people
want to
made fighter
take that,
jets, and
anyone
then
with
people
Viking
made
DNA,
fighter jets, and then people made fighter jets.
All right, Clint Bowling retired, guard for the Cincinnati Bengals.
You're talking
Talking.
fighter jets.
All right, the draft is over.
All right, Clint Bowling. Yes, very sad that somebody had to retire early.
Yeah, and he had to retire because he started having clots in his leg, and he was having some real medical issues. Yeah. This also sets the Cincinnati offensive line back. He was he was their best guard, one of their best O linemen.
That line is suffering this year.
Oh yeah, well they drafted a tackle in the first round. He's not going to play because most likely because he has a labrum issue. Clint Bowling's not going to play because he's retired. So now they did draft a guard in the draft this year, a guy out of Ohio State. And they do have a guy who's now on his second year, Billy Price. So the interior is not going to be totally screwed, I don't think. And plus, those guys might have a little bit better chemistry because they both played together in college. There might be a little bit of already pre-built-in chemistry there. Cordy Glenn's moving out to left tackle again. He played well. He played decent at left tackle, but he's, again, a guy who never really makes it through a season. And then they still have Bobby Hart at right tackle. That's a miserable mistake to ever do to anybody, is to continue to have him play right tackle. But, yeah, so I think that's going to be a real worry for the Cincinnati Bengals. I wasn't looking at them as a real league winner. And that also brings up the whole A.J. Green thing we were talking about before.
Went down,
Literally right before we started the podcast, went down. They said it's a left foot injury.
Lower foot, yeah. He supposedly landed wrong on it, and that's just catastrophic because we see so many times and like
What do you mean landed wrong, though?
So he landed wrong on his foot and had lower leg pain is the description I got from
that sounds like a high ankle or a low ankle sprain.
Yeah, but when you
Or it could be a
land,
rupture.
you land on your foot wrong, it controls your whole leg. I mean, I guess the main thing is that we haven't heard knee come out of the situation.
Yeah.
Once they say knee, we always go to ACL. But I know from watching the little basketball that I did this year, like all the ACL injuries were coming down landing wrong on the foot. So you never know what they're trying to hide until it's.
Well, they don't know probably until they do.
Yeah, of course
an
they.
MRI.
Well, they probably know by now, but.
The Patriots signed Lance Kendricks.
Yeah, that's something to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely, because they have 0 tight ends. But I for the beginning of the season, but it was just something that came up.
No, but that's also something to pay attention to, because anytime they sign somebody, I'm like, they know something, and this guy's going to turn into a fantasy monster.
Jaron Reed suspended 6 games for the start of the season.
Good.
It's a D tackle on the Seahawks. That's probably why Ricky's saying good. Not a fan of the Seahawks. Trent Williams is currently holding out, and because of that,
it's a weird situation, right?
The Redskins are interviewing Donald Penn and a couple of other offensive tackles. Because Trent Williams isn't holding out for a particular contract issue. He does not like the medical staff there, and there's been consistent medical issues. There's been a lot of players who had consistent medical issues with that staff.
Yeah.
They probably have the worst medical staff.
Was this the same staff? Going back to
breaking news yet, or
Not breaking news, but the initial diagnosis is a sprained ankle from multiple reports. That's what they're saying.
okay, that's a good thing.
If it's a high ankle sprain, it might be
6 to 8 weeks, but he'll still be probably
It'll
back by
linger.
the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Could linger, you're right.
And close.
But it's early in training camp, so that's
The
a
other
good
thing
thing.
is that he's on a contract year.
They just extended Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd played really well last year.
Yes.
We're going to get into him in the fantasy episodes.
I guess.
You think Tyler Boyd's contract is what hurt AJ Green?
No. No, I think they re-sign AJ Green. I just don't know what the amount will be.
You can't let him walk.
Yannick Ngokwa, unless they trade him.
Can't walk.
He can't walk.
They could trade him.
You can't let him walk. That's why they.
Yeah.
Some guy named Antonio.
Yannick Ngokwa is
Spanish
holding
mob.
out too. That's a guy who's in a contract year.
Ngokwa?
Yannick Ngokwa.
Yeah, I like his name.
Yannick.
He's holding out though.
He's on last year of his contract, and
Okay.
I think they plan to pay him, and so I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. Alan Hearns was released late by another guy who was a late release, and now he just signed with Miami.
Miami's
just
just
to get into a
stockpiling these like kind of similar build wide receivers that just I don't know.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is just get guys for cheap contracts who
Yeah.
they could throw darts at, and it's not going to cost them anything to like compensatory pick wise. It's not costing them anything to sign him because he was a late release, and they signed him after when all the picks count toward the compensatory picks.
I really would have thought he would have stuck around with the Cowboys. Does this have anything to do with Gallup emerging or their? I don't.
I think part of it, Amari Cooper's there. They got to pay Amari Cooper. They're going to free up some cap.
Yeah.
They gotta pay Zeke.
They got to pay Zeke, and he's currently holding out, which we talked about last time.
Yeah, and going back on that, Melvin Gordon looks like he's like already going to be losing regular season games. They're holding out big time over there.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like each side's dug their trench on that. Michael Thomas is holding out too.
I understand that.
That one's another guy who's in a contract year. He's got a big contract coming to him. Probably.
He also just came off a monster year. I understand. Like his value is.
Yeah, Michael Thomas.
If there's ever a time to hold out, like this guy is on top of the world.
Yeah, I think Michael Thomas.
and he's been consistent the last 3 years.
Right. And I think he's shown. I mean, Drew Brees helps, but I think he's one of those receivers that the Saints have.
Get the ball
where,
to him, he'll catch it.
where he's shown that
I don't
even
think
if
it
it wasn't Drew
matters who's throwing-
Brees, he'd
yeah.
still be productive.
I don't think it matters who's throwing the ball to him.
Right.
He's a beast.
Because I think that's the concern with someone that plays with Brees. It's, how much of it is them, how much of it is him. I think he's made a case that he could be just as successful on his own.
I agree. I don't fault a player for holding out and trying to get their money, especially when you're in that contract year, especially when you're on a rookie deal that you don't get paid a lot on. And he was a second-round pick, so he's not getting paid a lot. This is a smart move on his end, and I think he'll eventually get paid.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it might not be from the Saints. I think it's quite possible they trade him.
Well, I'll tell you one team that needs something like that.
Does it rhyme with Hetz?
No.
No, it's the
Giants. Absolutely. I mean, you want to fill the void of Odell Beckham Jr. You got a couple injuries. You got a suspension. You got tons of money. I
think he will literally be pissed off at the Saints forever if they trade him to the Giants.
Oh yeah, but someone's got to do it.
That's going to be what kind of price do you think that would be as far as a trade goes?
Well, that's the other thing. Can the Giants trade? I mean, that's a first-round pick and some.
Yeah.
First-round pick and some just because you don't have anything else.
That's true. I know. There's two. I already mentioned Luan got suspended, and he actually released a video and kind of said like, he was willing to take a.
Is this like a tainted supplement kind of thing? He said. I remember him saying he didn't knowingly do any of this.
And he even took a. He said he took a what's it called, polygraph test to prove that he didn't do it. Mm-hmm. But there's other Titans news. They just extended Kevin Byard.
Yeah, he deserves it. I mean, he got paid a lot, but he deserves it.
He's a good safety.
He's been under the radar for a little bit now. I mean, I think he's going to finally getting his due. He's been a solid safety.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I think that was the extent of.
Other than the Giants, like we touched the Giants, but
we didn't touch the Giants. That's right. And nobody should be touching the Giants. So yeah, that was some big news.
Fragile.
Sterling Shepard fractured his thumb. Then you got Golden Tate, who's suspended for 4 games, and then Corey Coleman tore his ACL. So basically, their top 3 receivers are most likely not going to play Week 1. Maybe Sterling Shepard because of a broken thumb. He could probably come back within a month.
Thumb
but they
is
might
different, though. Thumb isn't a finger. That's a big, like, your thumb could be your whole hand. Like, you really...
Well, I'm saying, they've had guys come back from a thumb issue. Now, he might have some adjustment from that, though. And it might... So, but there's a major issue for the G-men.
But the thing is, I don't think he has to worry about, like, really, like, the hardest of passes coming in, you know?
Well, they won't get to him. They're just going to go right into the ground.
Yeah.
He's going to catch bounce passes.
Yeah.
They're good for bounce passes. When that way, it's the ground is going to be a problem.
I was watching his tape, and that's one of the most miserable things is watching Giants games, is watching balls thrown by Eli Manning.
It's got to be pretty painful for anybody to watch balls being thrown by Eli Manning, huh?
Almost as bad as watching Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
You had to get him back in here, didn't you?
Yeah, had to. Well, because I was watching a player that he throws stuff to.
Gotcha. Yes, that's true. Throws stuff.
Wojo's got the craziest website. You guys should check. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with football. Actually, it's just a weird porn site.
But yeah, so you got the Giants. They are
losing Tate is a big deal. Losing Sterling Shepard. I mean, basically, what they have left is Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley.
Well, they have Daniel Jones, and everybody knows he's the world beater. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's mean. We don't know. He might be good.
I don't think so. I think they tank. I think they tank hard now.
They haven't looked.
And I think
they've been struggling for a few years now, and it looks like they don't even care.
I think they're going to take. I think they're going to take another quarterback.
Yeah.
I think they're taking big.
Trevor Lawrence.
No, he's not coming
2
out.
years.
He's 2 years.
They're going to take the guy from Oregon.
Herbert. Not Tua. Not Fromm.
No, I think Herbert's going to walk
away
with it.
I think Herbert's going to be the first pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tua.
Really? Daniel Jones,
I think
it's so hard to tell because all of a sudden the season starts and you got somebody that prior to the season was supposed to be the number 1, and then by the end they're like, oh, maybe a 5th round pick.
Quarterback wise, it really doesn't change that often.
Sometimes people like Mitchell Trubisky show up.
But as far as like your
Baker was considered like a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Correct. Yeah, but
I mean,
after week 2, I knew he was going to be there. I was watching his game. He's throwing 600 yards every game.
He's right though, because guys like Sam Darnold when he was a freshman, everyone was like, nah, he'll be like the best quarterback coming out.
Yeah,
there's some guys who are like that. There's Sam Darnold. There's Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I think the only way you move in the draft, if you're a quarterback up or down, is if you're a scrambling quarterback in the collegiate play. Because it really doesn't transfer over that well. And unless you have the ability to stand in the pocket as a scrambling quarterback, they kind of keep you up there. That's what we saw with like Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. We didn't necessarily see it with RG3. He still went high and got paid a ton of money.
I think people were praising Fromm 2 years ago and saying Fromm was going to be a first overall pick. I think the problem is people don't get to see the tape at this point. Like, you're not really doing tape study at this point. You're seeing them in games, but you're not watching them doing tape study.
Yeah.
So at this point of their career, everybody's like, oh, I get to see them in a couple of games, and they do these amazing things. And then when you really get to break down the tape, you're like, oh, that doesn't translate. That doesn't make it in the NFL. Okay, this guy has something going for him. This guy can be really good. So there's some, I think there's going to be a lot of that next year where people start breaking down Herbert's tape, people start breaking down Tua's tape, and they go, this translates, this doesn't. Like, especially with Tua, who has a lot of weapons around him, is on Alabama.
Correct. And Tua is like this. I watch him play. He's like 2 different quarterbacks in one. he looks like he'll run all over the place. Then he'll stand in the pocket and just hurl the ball. But then he gets like replaced. I don't get it. Like in the national championship game, that's how good Alabama's depth is.
Every time I think he's doing really well, they just bench him.
Yeah, it's
like
really
all of a sudden
weird.
he just has like a bad quarter, and then in comes some third string guy that from Tuscaloosa. I have no idea where they found this kid.
I watched the Ducks, so I watched Justin Herbert. He's a slinger. I mean, he slings that ball, and like he'll have horrible games, but he hasn't had the best team around him, along with the coaching staff at Oregon. But I think this year is kind of like he's gonna make this year by showing them, because Oregon really didn't improve, kept their lousy coach in my opinion. But like he's gonna shrine. What's the word? Shrive. Ow.
Make strides.
Can you English?
Strive, yeah.
Strive?
Like make strides
Oh, okay.
with
make
this
strides.
team.
Like the gum.
I think.
Or like running.
Yeah, I think Oregon will. I think you're going to leave Oregon to the playoffs this year. It's going to be a great playoff.
I feel
this
like
year.
people were really big on him last year, like before last season, and then
Well, he
I feel
stayed.
like I understand he stayed, but then even before that decision was officially made, I feel like he was the hype kind of dampened over time.
It did.
I think they were starting to project him even lower.
He would have probably been a first-round pick if he came out, but I don't know if he actually would have been the highest pick. I think it would have been.
Well, no,
Kyler
Daniel
Murray.
Jones would have been.
You think the Giants take Daniel Jones or Justin Herbert? If Justin Herbert comes out,
The
The answer is Daniel Jones because it's the Giants.
I don't believe in Gettleman, so that's. By the way, New York, you need to get rid of your Boston GM.
Yeah.
I kind of want people to realize that the guy is definitely not from New York.
he likes the Pats.
He's a knock.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll pick a quarterback. Or maybe
Doesn't
I'll
know
pick
how
a
to
cornerback.
parallel pack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that wraps up this episode. There was a lot of strange news.
Yeah.
And
the season is starting. There's a lot of changes going on. You have to pay attention to the news.
Isn't the first preseason game like next week?
it's coming up.
Coming
man.
up quick, man.
This
I
is
also
not next
didn't
week.
know, but watched football my entire life. Didn't know some teams play 5 preseason games. I thought that was just the first week.
Really?
I had no idea.
I didn't
Denver
know.
was never in the Hall of Fame game that I remember.
Oh, well, I guess if you play the Hall of Fame game, you technically
still-
play 5 games.
Yes. I thought it was just that's your first preseason
Yeah.
game, and then you play 3 more.
I was under the same assumption. I think when the Jets did play in the Hall of Fame game, that's when Curtis Martin got into the Hall of Fame. Back then, I think that's a fairly new system though, because
It might be.
the Jets played only 4 games.
Well, then
year.
maybe this is
Yeah.
the first time I'm realizing it because it's the first
They
time
could
it
be
happened.
doing a lot of stupid stuff too, because it's like the NFL 100. So like
Yeah.
this year is also the first time that the Super Bowl champions.
Do you guys
don't
ever
open
actually
up the
watch the
season.
Hall of Fame game?
I do.
So I'll watch the first couple plays. Like I would no. Oh wait, no. Denver I think did play in the Hall of Fame game a few years back when I think No. Moreno was in. I want to see like their first couple snaps, how they hit the hole, and then they take them out.
Yeah, like they had Lamar Jackson in the Hall of Fame
Right.
game last year. So that was sometimes if you get somebody who has a rookie QB, but that's a rarity.
Yeah, no. I just watch it because football's back. I like watching them play on like that field in Canton too, because it's like
Yeah.
an old high school field.
And everybody gets hurt because
I remember
it's not
when-
well kept.
like,
I'm
when-
pretty sure No. Moreno hurt his knee immediately.
The quarterback from the Texans, when the Texans were the first team, they were in the Hall of Fame game, and the quarterback broke his neck on like the second play,
Yeah.
and he was no more. But but they're doing a lot of different things for the NFL 100 year. Like this year, I was saying is the first year like the Super Bowl champions don't open up on that Thursday night. So instead they're doing like the NFL 100 matchup. I think the Bears are playing the Packers.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of like all the Thursday night games are themed after like NFL 100 matchups. So
Interesting.
they're, like,
It'll be an
hitting
interesting year.
historic points.
It's exciting.
Yep.
And if you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it at Draftvice on Twitter, at Draftvice_football on Instagram. You can follow me at Brojo Death Punch, BROJO. Death is in the end of life. Punch, like that stuff that sometimes people roofie at parties.
Why are you looking at me? The hell?
Steve, you have an Instagram or?
Well, no. If you want to follow me, my only thing is just don't stay too close to me because I'm gassy this week.
All right. I don't have anything, so you know the deal.
So, and if you watch it on YouTube, like the video, share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll have videos up at this point in the screen anyway, so you'll be able to click on something here or there, like maybe on Steve's face. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on iTunes, still subscribe, rate, leave a review, and again, share it with your friends. And tune in. We're doing a lot more fantasy stuff. And have fun.
Peace.
Sucks.
We're on the
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
about the past and about the future.